Hey, we're so glad you could join us today for this status session. The board is a bit concerned with your progress on moving to the public cloud. Now, don't worry. I have with us today a motivational speaker, an NC2 specialist. We know that you don't want to really hear it from your coworkers. He's spoken to a lot of big crowds, including AWS reInvent, Microsoft Ignite, and Google Cloud. So give him a big applause when he comes in. He's been drinking coffee for 4 hours in the snack room. Matt, come on in.
I'm Matt Foley, and I'm a motivational speaker and a new NC2 specialist. I want to give you a glimpse into my life. I'm 44 years old, and I live in a van down by the river. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, you're going to grab the world by the tail, wrap it up, and stick it in your pocket. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're probably going to amount to jack squat. Now, tell me, what do you want to do with your career?
I want to learn Kubernetes and refactor my apps in the public cloud.
Hey, boss, it looks like we got Joe Beta over there.
No, we actually encourage our employees to learn cloud native, Kubernetes, and all the other services that are provided in the public cloud.
I wish you would just shut your little yapper. Well, we got a solution to the problem. It's called Nutanix Cloud Clusters. We can easily move you to the cloud using Nutanix Move. Let's take a look.
We already have our Move appliance deployed, which is free for any Nutanix customers. It's included in the software. And so we have NC2 on AWS environment already deployed, and we have our on-prem environment. So we can give a migration plan a name. We're going to pick the source and destination, the source being our on-prem environment, which could be a vSphere environment or HV. We're picking our target, going to NC2, give a container, hit next, find the virtual machines that we want to move. If you've done any changes with vCenter or Prism, just do a refresh. And so we're going to find our SQL workload that we want to move. And then it's going to snapshot it and then start migrating once the job starts. We'll do a network mapping. If you have an L2 stretched configured, you can retain the IP address. So it's really great for migration, something that's supported on the Nutanix side. Pick the priority on if you want it to move quicker versus other workloads, time zone, retaining MAC addresses, which is super important for older applications that have the MAC address tied to licensing. Once the settings are verified, we can hit save and start. It'll validate the plan and start to migrate the workload. You can set a delay, but this happens in the background, so your workload can still be running while the data migration is happening, and then the cutover is where you're going to see a reboot. It actually saves the original machine and just shuts it down, so easy to revert if there are any issues. So a nice failback plan if needed. So once it's going through the process, it just does the last Delta copy since the last snapshot. So we're bringing that SQL Server up on NC2. And if we take a look at our NC2 Prism Central, we see the VM already moved and we're good to go.
Do we ever get to modernize our apps with Kubernetes?
If you still want to live your Kubernetes dreams, well, I got something else for you too.
We're going to log into NKP, our management layer for Kubernetes clusters. We have an infrastructure provider already set up for Azure. So we're going to use that to deploy an AKS cluster. You're going to provide the subscription ID, tenant ID, and then the client information is going to come from setting up an application on the Azure side. This will give our Azure clusters that we create, the fleet management that NKP provides, and a consistent way to manage all of your Kubernetes regardless of the location. So we're going to deploy an AKS cluster. It could be, or it could have been with VMs from Azure, so you have some flexibility on how you want to do that. You'll have to supply the location. You can select different image types. Here we have 2 node pools, one for the system and one for the worker pool. I like to think of it as you'll have the ability to deploy non-GPU Kubernetes clusters on the NC2 cluster. And then if you need access to GPU, you can definitely deploy or use AKS. So you can really split it up how you want, but there are great opportunities for optimizing your Kubernetes environment. So we've already deployed AKS cluster. We did speed it up a bit, but then you'll just download the kubeconfig, and then you're off to the races to start working and having easy upgrades and management.
Remember, if you don't want to end up like me, start with NC2 first, or else you'll be living in a van down by the river.